Len Brown's proposed 10-year budget, the one that will result in outrageous across-the-board rates rises and plunge Auckland City further into debt, will be put to the vote today. And guess what? It'll probably go through. I say it's madness, and some, like councillor and former Auckland Mayor Christine Fletcher, agrees with some of what I say. She says the council needs to get back to its core business, and she joins me now. Christine, good morning.
Good morning, Paul.
This is madness. Len Brown has always said that he wants to create the world's most livable city.
Yeah.
He is on the cusp of creating a city that no one can afford to live in, no matter how good it is.
It's the world's most unaffordable city at the moment. Well, certainly for my constituents.
Is that your biggest issue with this 10-year plan, which I'm pretty sure is going to be voted through today?
I honestly don't know at this point, and that in itself is alarming, that we don't know where the councillors stand on this issue. But under the government's legislation for amalgamation, the mayor leads the budget. So it's his budget, and it's his core team that he appoints of the deputy mayor, who's not here at the moment,
yep,
and Penny Webster, the two Pennies, that have led this process through.
Right.
But I just don't believe that we can continue to see these year by year rate increases.
Okay, well, let's talk about your own particular nook and cranny.
Right.
In your nook and cranny of Auckland, those ratepayers have had increases of 10% a year since the Super City came in, since 2010.
That's right. And they would have been greater, but there was an agreement there would be a transition, capping it at 10%. But they're about to see some huge jumps.
If this goes through, they and many others in this city will be seeing 10% rates increases year on year for as many years out as you can look.
And say that to somebody who's paid off the mortgage in their house, looking forward to their old age and on a fixed income. How do you look them in the face and say, well, this is the rate increase?
Okay, so we're getting to a point now where actually no one can own a home in Auckland. Everyone will be renting from the council because rates are just getting so expensive, and there is nothing in this 10-year plan that will cap rates. There's nothing that will hold them back. The opposite is true. How can any councillors vote this in on that reason alone?
Well, that's why I'm voting against it. Let me be quite clear, though. I'm voting against the general rate increase. What we have allowed is council to grow like Topsy. We're involved in all sorts of social services that really are the domain of central government. And if we could go out for consultation with a transport option of a basic one and an enhanced transport option, why couldn't we go to the public with consultation on this is core council business, here's enhanced council business, then we would get a mandate to do all sorts of wild and wacky things, which we are currently doing, in my opinion.
Well, why can't the council even look at the way it spends money? Why can't the council review its own spending? Why can't the council cut its cloth? All we're constantly told is these are grand projects that we've got in mind. The government won't help us. We will just fund it from this bottomless pit of ratepayers, and yet still council staff numbers go up, expenditure on general council goes up. I mean, it's a nightmare.
And I think central government do need to take an interest in this. They keep passing legislation. Let me give you an example. The Manga Authority, there's $80 million in the LTP for the Manga Authority. Now that was
I don't even know what that is. What even is that?
The Manga Authority is the settlement with the Tamaki Collective for the return of the manga to. So $80 million for that. Now, I think there's a lot of activities that council have had imposed on it, but we are the author of our own misfortune because we've waded into a lot more. The current CEO did not create this mess. I think that much of this...
No one should be allowed off the hook. The fact of the matter is you and a small number of other councillors, what is 8 against? It'll be, no, maybe even less, maybe 6 against. This is going to go through, Christine. What are you going to do about it? Just very quickly, because we're almost out of time.
Well, I think the government have to step in. It will be a bit of a crisis. Whatever happens today, and I think it's time for government to step in. The targeted transport rate is not a bad idea. It's ring-fenced.
Although the government have said, and I know they won't put money in, but the government have said, the Minister of Transport has said basically, and I paraphrase, it's a cock case of an idea, you know, the solution to it. So he's not going to put any taxpayers' money in because, you know, the idea itself, he says, won't work.
We need roading renewal. We need transport infrastructure.
But we don't need this 10-year budget.
We do not need, it's not sustainable and not affordable.
Thank you very much for joining us, and thank you for voting the right way, even though I think it's a lost cause.